What time does the show start?
Welcome to Rainbow Winds and Magically Living. Are you ready to unlock the magic within and create your most enchanted life? Look no further. Our sponsors, Rainbow Winds and Magically Living, are here to guide you on a transformative journey towards a life filled with wonder and empowerment. Unlock your potential. Personalized consultations. Discover the power of alternative healing, divination, and immersive rituals with our personalized consultations. From crystal healings to Reiki, nature forest therapy, personal tarot readings, and more, our team is here to help you tap into your inner magic. Courses, workshops, and e-courses. Learn and grow. Rainbow Winds and Magically Living offer a range of courses and workshops designed to help you deepen your connection with nature, the cosmos, and your inner self. Now, introducing e-courses and e-books, making the magic accessible to everyone everywhere. Color therapy for vibrant living. Add a splash of color to your life. Our color therapy sessions are designed to enhance your well-being and bring balance to your energy centers. Immerse yourself in the hues that resonate with your goals and dreams. Why choose Rainbow Winds and Magically Living? Heart-centered healing. We approach every consultation and offering with a big heart, ensuring that you feel supported and nurtured on your journey. Variety of modalities. From traditional practices to modern techniques, our team offers a diverse range of healing modalities to cater to your unique needs. Transformational ceremonies. Experience personal and transformative ceremonies tailored to your individual path and goals. Pathfinding support. Let us guide you towards your dreams and life purpose through alternative healing, divination, and immersive rituals. Ready to embrace the magic? Whether you're seeking to add more color to your life, connect with nature, or delve into the mysteries of the cosmos, Rainbow Winds and Magically Living are your companions on this magical journey. Don't just exist. Thrive with Rainbow Winds and Magically Living. Your magical life awaits. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell to stay enchanted. Rainbow Winds #Magically, living #enchanted life. Hey magic makers, we want to hear your magical stories and experiences. Whether it's a spell that worked wonders, a mystical encounter, or a transformative moment on your spiritual journey, we want to share the magic with our amazing community. If you're interested in being featured on Magically Living, or if you have a magical tale to tell, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us at rainbowwindshieling@gmail.com or rainbowmetamagic@gmail.com. We can't wait to connect with you and bring your magic to life on the airwaves. Follow us on social media as Rainbow Winds Healing for updates, sneak peeks, and a vibrant community of fellow magic enthusiasts. Together, let's create a space where the extraordinary becomes the everyday. Lots of love and magic to you all.
Okay, I'll be back. I'm doing this live still.
Podcast is a special podcast. If you're actually seeing the visual on this and not just listening, I invite you to take a look at the video right now. I fast forwarded the night before. This podcast took some time in the making. But on the first evening, I had invited my best friend to be my first guest on this podcast. And we just ended up talking about so much more, eating pizza and diving really deep. So I decided to take this footage and take this time to, one, introduce myself and to welcome you to this podcast. In the description, you're going to notice that there's a gift. The gift is a color healing practitioner course. To learn more about that, stay tuned to the end of the podcast. Now let's dive in deep. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my girlfriend. I met her a couple years after I had moved to the place I live in now. And I didn't have any friends. I was in so much therapy and gosh, I was starting to get lonely. I had my daughter living with me and stuff, but still, you need that adult time. So I asked Spirit for a friend. and they gave me the name Spiritually in Tune. So I looked it up, and I messaged the person behind the page, and I said, listen, I might seem like a little bit googly, but I needed a friend, and Spirit mentioned you. She took time, because, you gotta kind of cipher these kind of things. And she checked out my pages and stuff like that. And then about a week before we met, she messaged me out of the blue. And then we met a week later. We are yin and yang, like we were when we first met. I was so quiet into myself, and she's so out there. And we have been friends for 7 years now. And I'd say best friends for since the beginning. I mean, we took her time, but we're best friends. So we're in a very relaxed atmosphere in this podcast. There is no offense to anybody in this, but we are starting to discuss the importance of color, and we just kind of ran with it. The first night, we got off topic and we talked about a lot of different things, about business, about our lives. We ended up doing a catch-up, and we laughed and said we could just do a podcast on that. But we stayed true to it. This is actually the third take, because she came earlier this afternoon, and we sat down for about 4 hours, and we were talking and stuff, but we didn't turn on the cameras, and so we made a definite plan for this evening. And once again, we got to talking, and it took a couple hours before we got on target. So please bear with us, because sometimes we're giggling, and but we have the same nature. We want to share and spread the knowledge of how everyday things can become a magical life. And right now, this podcast is all about color. So please, enjoy. Take a few moments. I'm going to throw a song on so you can have a couple minutes to get comfortable and sit back and relax. And I'm going to invite you to grab some markers or some different pens or pencil crayons or whatever you have around of different colors. And I invite you to draw on a piece of paper, scribble some words, maybe even scribble how the color makes you feel during this podcast. Take notes. If you have questions, be sure to comment below. We're looking forward to them. And last but not least, thank you for joining us. I'd like to give a special shout out to Ask Amanda on Facebook. If you're interested in cool contests and finding neat things with your puffin needs, be sure to go over and check out Ask Amanda on Facebook. She's going to be having some really cool stuff coming up this New Year's, and she has some really cool raffles. So check out this song, and kick back and relax. Make sure you got a drink and you're settled in, because we got about an hour of good conversation between two best friends that are both healers and in the magical world. Thanks for joining us.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Once again, a special shout out for Ask Amanda on Facebook. You can find her in the private group Ask Amanda. These are some of the things that she's raffling off.
Dangerous times don't fly.
Enjoy!
Be sure to keep them out.
Another special shout out is to Mrs. Pops for supplying our cannabis needs. Please head on over and give her a like. You can find her at 3721 Fort Line, Hagersville, Ontario. Phone number, email, Instagram, TikTok, and more. And a special thank you to the pizzeria as well. Their pizza was absolutely delicious. Their service was amazing. You can find them on Google. They have amazing food. Here's a little quick peek at their menu. We ordered the deluxe. It was absolutely out of this world.
Yummy, yummy. We loved it. So good, so good. So this podcast is getting broken up into 2 days. There's so much footage to go through here. Oh my goodness. This has been running for almost 2 hours. We've been on the go, in the car, picking up pizza, doing this, doing that. Oh my god, my hair is just crazy. But we are going to touch base more on color at the second half of this. So I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for listening this far. I hope you're having a great time listening. I mean, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We'll go over colors like during the week and how these small little things can like add so much to your life. So thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for the second half. Enjoy your break.
I want to talk about color.
Okay, what color are we talking about?
All colors. So why is color important?
Oh man, color is important for so many different reasons. Emotional stimulation, relaxation. It's also part of association to moments, memories. It can be utilized, I mean, it's spoke about in neuroscience, psychology, philosophy. It has existed since, like, what was that dude's name? Like Merkin something or whatever, where he came out with that color pink. And instead of like doing real trials, because pink was so calming for him, he decided to actually utilize it in a jail. And he painted the jail. He went from the jail being white to it becoming all pink, like this marquee or something pink. Hold on, this is good. So this guy, instead of like, like trial and error on different cells and like different criminals, like, oh, how does this person respond to this person? He compared that the year before, when the jail was completely all white, that the people were more violent. And there was more things going on inside the jail. And then when the jail became all pink, there seemed to be less violence for some reason. And so this is like, a thing that's actually been looked into. I don't know how like much fact and study is behind this, but this was like Scheizens or something. This is a doctor. Like, I'll actually have to find out what his name is, because he created this specific color of pink for people to heal from. So people have been looking into color for a very, very long time. And I mean, even right down to our own bodies. We know that when we get red, we're hot. When we turn blue, we're cold. Or you're lacking oxygen. But I mean, like, typically I'm talking about our hands.
Cold.
Yeah, you're cold. Well, we're gonna go with cold because we're in color. Yeah, we're in color. But it's right down to that color association. So color is something that I think is like primally somewhere in us.
No.
Yeah, like
No.
like what? No. And so I laugh because I'm like, is it me or is it you? But
I like this and you like this.
I know, I feel like
I got a booger.
Too much thought went into all that. But I mean, color is also, I think,
Different got colors. I know when I look at the color of booger.
color internally in the body. You can tell through, okay, you go yellow, you know, the body's starting to release killer cells and protective cells to help the body fight a bacterial infection or a viral infection or something. You see the snot change color. It's a good indication. It's actually not a bad indication. Right? So this is something, and each color of phlegm or mucus represents something vastly different. So it all depends on where we are in the body to what we're talking about. Even when we do color association and anatomy, I mean, the heart represents red,
Right?
you know, and it all depends on
And the
which
lungs are
facet.
usually blue.
Yeah,
And
the,
then
and
you
the
have
venous
two
system is blue, and you know, then you have your arterioles and your arteries, and all of them, they and then your nervous system, it's almost yellow every single time. You know, like yellow or green, or some books it's green, some it's yellow, and then it's reverse your lymphatic system, right? It'll show a yellow or a green or something, but or white. You can see this. So color association goes right down to like our own bodies. The fact that there's like studies about like endocrystalline cells vibrating to create color reflection inside of us, and there's multiple, I mean, association to different crystals. It's simple. Some people are, and that's even the most interesting part, is that some people are not attracted to every single crystal. They're only attracted to a certain color. And what does that color represent to them, either on an emotional, psycho-emotional levels, like something, there's some type of attachment there, whether it's subconscious, conscious, or an emotional connection that you're aware of or unaware of, but you feel it. You feel it instantaneously, you know, instantaneously. And you know, like when the spring comes and you see the color green, you know that there's renewal. You know that that's the time of renewal. You know, you see winter, you see white. You know that that's the time. Yeah, that's the time of like.
But there
water
is some
and
green, because of the
Yeah.
evergreens, right? And you can see the hues of like a little
everything.
red
There's
berries
color
or-
is
like
prevalent.
they're like winter berries, right?
Prevalent in our lives. And so when it comes to like using color for healing or color for connection or color for maybe study, even there's so much out there that people can look into and grasp onto, you know, all depending on what their needs are.
And chakra system is
Yes.
hilarious.
And I mean, like, there's so much, you know,
And
From
colors,
every-
even the colors from like a crystal, like we talked about crystals. So we have a clear crystal, good quartz, but when you put it in sunlight,
It's
it reflects
got-
every prism, right?
exactly. And I mean, it's just like the different colors of jade. Right? So,
And that how that starts, the reason why in the crystal, it starts off as like a clear quartz or silica base, and then something, a speck of anything, changes the whole color of it, not the structure,
yeah,
but the color of the
Yeah.
crystal, and it builds its lattice.
that's what I think about
And so
people.
the sacred geometry of the color changes, so it goes to the color.
And that's what I think about people. Everybody's a different color because we come from the same source of a crystal, per se, creator, right? But we all branch off in our own unique ways. No amethyst is identical. You know, and yet people don't even realize that like you can have like fluorite blended in amethyst, and it's multifaceted now. And so color is needed, color is necessary, color is important.
Even in plants.
Oh.
Those plants are telling you things,
Oh, all by their color.
right?
Is it poisonous? Is it safe? Should you touch me or not? Like, you know,
Animals.
same thing. Same thing.
And even us, we express with colors. We have a favorite and we don't have favorite.
And a lot of people resonate with blue. It's kind of funny. I was actually just listening to this TED talk about a lady talking about how a lot of people resonate with the color blue, right? And how it seems to be extremely soothing for a lot of people. Now, that could range in a multitude of levels of color, because color, you know, like frequency changes. And so you have many different layers of blue. And so you don't have to just like one blue for it to be calming. No, it could be any color of blue for you, all depending on what you feel towards that. And maybe it's not even blue, maybe it's yellow, maybe it's purple, maybe it's green, maybe it's even black. And there's a lot of people out there that, you know, I think shun that color away because the association to darkness. But from all darkness comes light.
Right.
Right? And I think from all color, I mean, we come from darkness and then spread along the colors sheet, like we branch into a multitude. Right down to even gray having a place. And I know that people, that's not recognized, right? And I don't think like white is considered a color either.
No, it's not. It's a neutral.
But
As an artist point,
yeah,
neutral. Black and white are neutral. But as I said, isn't interesting gray as a color.
it is. And I think anything that's blended is beautiful. It's whatever meets your eyes need that creates that connection. The brain works on pictures and words. So what you see in front of you will create the words in your head and your emotional response to it.
Like when you think of purple,
Mm.
something comes in. Right away.
Instantaneously.
Some people think flowers, some people think grapes, some people think juice.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, like when you write down or you say orange.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different orange thing that comes to mind.
Exactly.
But immediately your brain identifies as soon as it hears the color.
Yeah, naturally.
Yep.
And that's why I think it's so cool to watch kids when they're little figure out the colored blocks.
Mhm.
And even the shapes and where they fit and how they fit and how it all seems to come together. And I think that's the big thing with color is that there's a lot of separation, but there's none.
But how colors complement. So you talked about
Yeah.
the blue, right?
Oh man, blues and greens into turquoises and that's my color spectrum. If I'm to pick a spectrum for myself, I love the turquoise colors, like that kind of greeny, bluey, oceany, but also sky.
Yeah. So
Like they
sky,
reflect one another.
right?
Yeah.
This is interesting. So our brains recognize sunrise
Mm-hmm.
and sunset
Mhm.
because of the different hues and colors that,
Naturally.
that our brain registers. But we see a lot of those blues
Mm-hmm.
and yellows in the morning,
Mhm.
oranges. So
Yeah.
those are stimulating colors to our body.
Yeah.
And then in the night, we get like purples, reds,
Oh yeah, the darker colors.
blues,
Yeah.
oranges, and yellows.
Yeah.
So we actually more of a spectrum of color in the evening. But
Yeah.
yet, our
Sunsets.
body, if we watch a sunset,
Mm-hmm.
if we actually see those colors and we watch it, our body naturally goes to sleep. That's why they say go to nature.
Well,
for
it's
a
part
week.
of the circadian rhythm.
And yeah, you just go right back to rhythm.
Yeah.
And in the morning, when you see the sunrise,
Well, yeah,
you
I mean,
literally
and
are
that
building
that would be
energy
a part
with
of the
it.
sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system because so many people are set in their ways of so you have an alarm clock that goes off first thing in the morning. That alarm clock startles you, right? So now you get startled out of your sleep and now you're instantaneously in a rush. You gotta rush and get the kids ready, rush and get ready for work. You gotta fly out the door. Now you're stuck in traffic. Now you can't get the kids dropped off in time. You get them there late. Now you're late for work. Now you run into work and your boss starts yelling at you. You got things done and to do all day long that you're never going to complete and you know it, but you keep rushing. Then you reach 1 o'clock, you're crashing, so you have a coffee, right? Well, that coffee isn't what your body needs. So you get maybe that 2 seconds of like a rest and digest, and then you're back into the sympathetic system.
And we think about color, you're putting that color in your body.
Exactly. And so you're associating, and now you have gray offices around you. And I mean, not that I'm against gray, because gray is a color, and it can be utilized, I think, if done properly, because like smoky quartz, right? So, and that's a beautiful stone. But you're in a gray office with white walls, little isolated boxes, separation, division from everything, including the sun, the sky, and the tones around you that you naturally respond to. So it just enhances it even more. That's why I think color therapy is a good thing for people. This is where I think they're finally starting to recognize there's so many amazing talks coming out about this right now, and so many amazing studies coming out about this right now that people, I think, is a great thing. And it's a great thing for kids to even pick up on, start that kind of stuff in kindergarten, because we're seeing so many, and I hate this word at such a young age, but we're seeing so many mental illnesses in young children that they need a way to associate their emotions with something. And they're struggling with the words because that type of connection hasn't been built as strong in this upcoming generations. And so, when everything is either I'm mad or I'm sad, they don't understand the umbrella of that and what's underneath and how that's like the tip of the iceberg. Anger is the tip of the iceberg, and underneath anger is all of these different emotions. They can express so many different things, but they don't know how to do that. These kids haven't been taught this stuff the same. So give them something that is visual. Give them something that they can actually see, that is tangible in front of them. Whether, I mean, child or adult, I think it should be in school, but it doesn't matter. Give them something in front of them that they can look at and maybe go, you know what? When I look at this shade of red, it triggers an uneasy feeling in my stomach. It triggers something in me. Now, underneath that color red, what are the emotions that can apply with that color red? Right? Now, circle one. Now let's look into that emotion, right? And it gives them expression in emotion and emotional acuity, instead of just like, I'm mad all the time and I hate the world and I hate life and I hate me and I hate everything. No, you don't. You're hurt. There's been maybe injustice in your life. You've been wronged in your life. You've been maybe abandoned or neglected in your life. And you don't have the right language to say that. So giving something that is like color associated is simple. That is like a very simple, tactile way to come to a psychological conscious awareness through your own self. Because instead of everything being external, you can then look internal. Well, where does that color yellow fit in my body? Where does yellow fit? And I mean, we don't even have to get into the chakras, okay, which would be phenomenal if we could to include this stuff, because I mean, yellow governs a lot of organs in your body, your spleen, which is really important. You know, it governs a lot of beautiful organs in your body. So to know that stuff, not only are you teaching them their emotions, you're teaching them a spiritual connection, you're teaching them an anatomical, physiological connection to, oh, well, when I have pain in my diaphragm, if there's nothing physical going on, what is the emotional, spiritual connection to that? What does that area represent in my organ body, in my physiological body, in my neural body? Because we all know through science that each nerve correlates with an organ directly. Huh? But so do the cones that come in and out of our bodies of energy that we absorb front and back. So if you can put this on paper, and you can associate the color to the emotion, to the body part, to the neural part, we're now teaching like a cognitive connection. It's going to be so much bigger than just I'm angry. It's going to be so much bigger than just teaching a mindful box or a safety box or these things. That's wonderful, wonderful stuff. But we need to implement tools now on top of it. Okay, you have your safety box and your mindful box. When you get angry, you go to your mindful box and you look at your favorite feather and you take a moment and you feel it and you smell it and you look at it and you touch it and you connect, you come out of that angry state. Or you look at a picture of your favorite person, or you touch a little piece of your snuffy or your favorite rock or whatever is in your mindful or safety box or whatever word is being used in that moment for that type of therapy. But like you're literally you're taking all of that safe, and now you're giving the work to it. Okay, we know this. Here's your safety box. But now let's look at what anger is. Let's look at where it associates. Let's look at what color it is. Let's look at what happens when it's imbalanced. Let's look at what happens when it is balanced. And let's put this into a way that children can understand. Not in our lingo or in the new age lingo and all that, anything like, no, we need stuff that kids can relate to and understand. And then they're going to be able to go home and hopefully in a safe environment and pass this knowledge on, not only maybe to their family, but to their children and to the next generations that we are creating. And that's what we need to be thinking about, is we need to be thinking about the actual upcoming future generations and looking at these children and looking at what is coming up. Everybody deserves it, but I'm a big believer in we got to protect what we have coming. And they need to have a good life too. They deserve to have knowledge too. They deserve to have wisdom too. And the only way to pass this along to them is for us to actually sit down, stop ranting, and put it to work. Put it to work. Take little pieces of ideas from people to share collectively, do something to come together, because this is what needs to be implemented into our schools. This type of mindful teaching. We talk about careers and civics, and they use that as a reflection to where you want to go in your future, but that's not until grade 9. We are not talking about these things with children who are in grade 1 because we don't think they have the capacity. But sit down and talk to a child who is 5 to 7 years old and listen. And oh man, it's not just imagination. They have real thought. And they have real emotion, just like everybody else. And they have real worries and fears and wants and desires and needs, but they're just not heard enough. And then they're not helped enough because, unfortunately, the way things have turned is that parents don't have that opportunity anymore because you're so emotionally distracted yourself, and then work distracted, and then mental distracted, and I'm not, there's no blame. There is no blame. There is no judgment at all, because I think we are all there, or have all been there, or are all going through being there right now. But the best thing to do is go, okay, well, if I can't fully, deal with all of me right now, what if I take what I know and I implement it into this, and I help this area become successful? Because mental illness is higher than we've ever seen. There's lots of suicides amongst children. There's so much going on that we need to do something. And everybody loves to color.
With some form, I believe, yes, with either a marker or paint.
Something. Pick which one. I'm not saying you have to do it,
with people,
but yeah.
when I bring in mindful drawing, I bring in color as, how does that color make you feel?
Yes.
And write down those words
100%.
in the color.
100%.
Because again, this red might be a trigger for you, and for somebody else,
It
they
could be,
absolutely adore
romantic.
it.
It could be
They see
romantic,
this
right?
passion and love and roses and hearts and
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
And it could be a
Yeah,
whole,
yeah.
exactly, it could be something completely opposite.
Everybody just has these different feelings, and then being able to identify what makes you, it starts giving those processes idly for your brain
Yeah,
to slow down and say, well, this is making me feel. And it's just teaching your brain to slow down on something simple like color, because color is so important to us. Businesses use color.
everything,
Everybody uses color. People
Everything.
use color for expression. We use color in our food.
everything.
If there's a certain color to our food, we either like it or don't like it.
Well, we know that we eat certain colored foods during certain seasons.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
another
like
thing.
there's multiple associations to all of
The
it.
rainbow diet.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, right? It's like it's completely there. And I think it's a really great, simple, in-depth outlet. I mean, all depending on what level you're on. All depending on what level you're on with your studies, that wow, it can go so deep and so
with
phenomenal.
businesses know to use like reds and yellows to get people's attention, but they make their choices
Yeah,
because they understand what stands out and what it represents to a population.
yes.
They look at statistics, right? So people generally, like you said, they look at red, they see hot. So a lot of food places are red,
Oh, yeah.
yellows.
Yeah, very
A
bright.
lot of seafood places will utilize the blue
Yeah,
with the red.
yeah. The representation
So it
of
gives
their
they're hot and cold.
yeah. And
So
I
you're
think,
getting
yeah, you're
something hot out
naturally
of the cold. Like
you're
there's
naturally doing this all the time. Like
Yeah.
so that's why I think we
Color's
need to
like its own language.
really it is.
You're
And
right.
we need to keep jumping into this further and further and understanding that even once we can work through colors, and I mean, right, like that's like frequencies,
For me,
right?
I
Like that's
see
like
colors.
wavelengths. That's like, I mean, it's insane. It's amazing. And colors, once we, use those types of teachings to teach emotions, then you can also use those colors to understand you can control emotion.
Yeah, it's a
And
stepping
don't allow emotion to be the rule of you,
stone.
right?
What happens when you become aware of your problem? You start thinking either of solutions or ways out.
Or it goes
So-
into what? Fight or flight.
Yeah. So when you're thinking of a color and you understand what it makes you aware of,
Yeah.
then you're like, I either like it or I don't like it. And then when you're sitting with your color, you start understanding why you don't like it or why you do like it.
Yeah. Very much so.
And it empowers you.
And it really is an emotional connection. It comes right back down to,
Yeah, it
that
just
deep
keeps
emotional
picking up.
tie.
Picking up.
Deep emotional tie. Is that like, oh,
Because
I
I
look at
tell
this
you,
and I feel this.
I love the color orange,
Mhm.
but I do not like to wear the color orange.
No.
I think if I wear orange,
Yeah.
I radiate such a weird energy and color.
I've tried lots of colors,
Yeah, me too.
but I just, I mean, but
Love
we all
purple.
know, like,
I love purple.
and
I can wear it on my body, but I can't wear it on my head or
Yeah.
even on my colors. But I can wear it as a jewelry, as an accent. But
that's,
to have complete purple,
no, yeah,
I go.
maybe it doesn't
I
blend
think
for you.
glow.
Yeah, that's, and you know what though, I think there's this awesome lady out there who does the birth charting. And then
Agreed.
this other
They
stuff.
glow.
Some people's birth, like you're born with colors, right?
Yeah.
So like some people, your colors might be like silver, purple, and yellow. And that's gonna resonate and rock with you. You know, maybe only one of the colors does.
Not a lot
Like,
of people
there's-
look good in red, apparently.
No, did you know?
But I've been told I look fantastic in red. And when I wear red, there's a certain reason why I wear red.
Yes.
So think about your lucky shirts. Think about, you know, oh, I'm gonna go on a job interview. Do you pick certain colors because you want to represent something?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start thinking about how colors resonate in your life,
Yeah.
when
How
you-
can you bring color to your life?
Right.
Is the next question. Is that now that you have a connection to it, how can you bring it in and understand, you know, what can it do for me? Let's say, you know, I have my room this color, and then I have my living room this color, and then I have my room this, like it all depends on what you're
Yeah.
looking for out of that place.
I told you about the red energy and the turkey.
Yeah.
Then I'm doing the color healing class on and I'm recording. And the turkey comes up to me because I'm doing the red energy, right?
Yeah.
And the red energy to the turkey is attractive. So she thought I was male or something. I don't know.
And she wanted something. She was lusting on the rouge. She's lusting on the rouge. She's like, look at those red
But
lips.
yet the male looked at me like, I don't think so. And he went poofy.
Yeah. And
But
so
when I
maybe
went-
it could have been like
but
a
the
threat to him,
interesting
but to
thing-
her, she's loving it.
But the interesting thing is when I went to the green space,
Yeah.
to the green energy, and I'm showing people how to use color and bring it in their life and put it in their energy field, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using the green color. She walked away and he liked it. He came over and he
That's
started
good.
and he started making his turkey sounds. And I'm like,
That's
no.
what I mean. It could have been more of an intimidation for him, right?
Yeah.
Like he didn't like the color. It was like, no, are you
He
trying to
didn't like the red
compete
at
with
all.
me? You know, like who knows? Like, I mean, but animals, and that's a funny thing too, is that
Animals
I
see
know
certain
these-
colors too.
I know they say that, oh, a lot of animals don't see colors and stuff like that, but I have animals and they know the difference between their colored toys and
Yeah.
which ones. Because I went and bought all the toys the exact same, but different colors. Because I just have to do things. And so Blue knows he likes his green ball. He likes the green one. And it's like the weirdest green, like it's a little bit lighter than your coffee table. And it's like, yeah, and he likes his green. But Shiva, she will go literally every single time without fail. That dog will go for the blue ball. And I've given them the other ones, they won't chase them. I've thrown them, they look at me like I have a problem with it. I need to go get the ball now. And no, but they know their balls and they like them. But they're all the same. So yeah, it's weird. Just like I bought those dollar store toys that have like little ferrets or something. I put a bunch of them down. There's a skunk, there's a ferret, there's a squirrel. They went for the squirrel. Tell me they don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you know. They know. From color, from look, from set. Like it doesn't smell like one, but there's got to be some type of association to it. And I think even when we have babies, we bring babies in and we put them in yellows and blues and pinks and greens and all these pastel colors.
It's
Why?
expressions, yeah.
Because we want
Well,
them.
some people put their babies in some pretty bright colors.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that. But again, it draws your attention to
Yeah.
it.
Right away.
Yeah.
And it's also because, you know, it's something to you too. Oh,
And
when
I've
they wear
heard
this
even with
color.
colorblind people, that it's like different shades
Mhm.
of the colors that they do represent it. Because sometimes it's just gray, apparently.
Oh,
But it's different like patterns. So colors have different patterns to them.
that's interesting.
Or different shades of gray.
That is very interesting.
I always thought
I
that was
mean-
cool.
Oh yeah.
Look at online. Remember that big fiasco where is this a blue and was it black dress or a gold and white dress?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those.
Those are vast different color changes.
That's
And
funny.
people
And-
swear that they see a gold and white dress or they see a black and blue dress.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of those online. And it really all depends. I mean, like, but what part of perception is that? And like I said, I was just listening to this wonderful study that just came out about all this color stuff and how your eyes absorb certain colors because of the cones in your eyes and how you take it in. And I mean, I'm not doing it any justice the way I'm expressing it because this man did so much better. But what he's looking into is phenomenal. And how we really have underestimated what color can do for us.
Yes.
and how we really should implement it right down to our clothing.
That's why I think art therapy is important too.
And if you ever notice, people do it naturally too with their clothing.
Yeah, they do.
Not only do you notice when someone's, let's say they're going through maybe some type of mental health issue. I mean, okay, yes, you notice that maybe they're not dressing themselves as much, but what else do you notice? They're not wearing their colors. They're not wearing colorful maybe makeup, or they're not doing their hair a certain color anymore, or they're not wearing certain shades of outfits anymore. Like it changes, and people go very gray or black, right? But now what's interesting about those colors is that instead of looking at them like it's a darkness, like I stated earlier, I mean, light comes from that. So, okay, we're wearing dark right now, but dark is protective. Dark can be very soothing. Dark is also a place of growth. So instead of teaching people that, oh, you're wearing this black makeup or dark this or dark that, why don't you ask what the association is for them? And instead of just making the judgment call, ask them, what does it represent to you?
Photograph for Rainbow Winds.
Mm.
The reason why it's that picture of me in the sunlight, and I take a picture of my shadow over the dandelions.
Yeah.
The dandelions that are in the bright light, you can barely tell that they're yellow. Everything's almost blanched out white.
Yeah.
It becomes almost invisible in the white, in the light. It's so bright. Like you can actually have white so bright, it blinds you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Very much so.
The reflection of snow, it can blind you
Yes.
with the light. But in the darkness, boy, do those dandelions look super duper yellow. And I've had that, I took that photography picture for a reason, because I
It's
wanted to show
beautiful
people that there's
things.
such beauty in the darkness.
Yeah, it's not something
That
to be afraid
sometimes
of.
that in the darkness is where you notice the light.
Yeah, because you get to see the reflection of the colors
You
finally.
actually get to see your colors.
Yeah, and there's different reflections going on at that point.
And the colors always represent emotion.
Yes, they all come down to emotions. It doesn't matter which way you go. It comes down to an emotion. Like I said, we know neurologically that yes, every nerve connects directly to an organ. But we also know that an emotion associates with that organ.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right? So like your liver, you can either be calm and understanding and, virtues of compassion, or you can have rage and anger and resentment.
Yeah. What I love about color therapy is
And I mean, the liver
using
screaming
light
like color therapy.
and using water with color.
Very much
People
so.
don't understand like how much water, just like Dr. Emoto, you can put your positive words into it. Yes. You can infuse it with color. Yes. Not just like crystals. You can infuse, people put crystals in the water.
100%.
But when you put your glass, say like I have it on a red and green tablecloth right now. In all reality, that kind of brings a really gross brown muck. Like when you mix it, as an artist, my brain goes there. And I think color therapy, because colors interchange and mix. So right there, it starts turning to a different color, right?
Instantly.
But when you put it, see, even in a colored
glass.
glass.
Pretty cool.
That's why I have colored glass, right?
Yeah.
And I infuse that, and that's where I make medicines for people.
Oh yeah, medicine's
people
been put in amber glasses and blue and
Yes.
colors for centuries.
Because if you put your medicine in a clear glass, it will turn yucky faster.
Yeah.
But if it's in a brown bottle,
yeah,
it lasts longer than the blue bottle.
Oh,
But it depends on the medicine.
but that's there you go with that protective association again.
Yeah.
Just because it's something dark doesn't mean it doesn't offer something of goodness.
Exactly.
We don't have
How many
to.
people like black?
But that's my point. Is
As an
that
expression. It's almost like a rebellion.
It is. But it's also like the obsidian.
Yeah.
So, it holds so many things.
The only thing that reflects and is used in divination for scrying.
Exactly.
Because of its glass-like surface.
But that's
because you can look into a crystal and you will not see the reflection. You can see through the crystal. You can see the reflections of everything around the crystal.
Yeah.
When you look into an obsidian crystal or a dark crystal like a labyrinth, or no, not labyrinth, a labradorite. It turns into that. So I think of labyrinth right away because it's just so dark, but you can see reflections in it, right? But in the light parts, you don't see the reflections, right?
That's the thing, right? That's why you
can see yourself perfectly in a shine obsidian.
I think people should.
It's almost like a perfect mirror.
Take time with color and Start with just outside.
Mhm.
Start with outside. Look around at how many
I
colors
say
we actually have
start
around
with
us.
color with whatever you have. If it's your food, you have makeup, if
Yeah,
you know,
pick
if
something.
you're a guy, try a different colored shirt.
Yeah,
Because a lot of dudes go to blue.
express. Big expression. Allow yourself to express.
When I see gentlemen wearing a splash of color, I
Yeah.
think it's amazing.
Oh, I think anybody who's willing to share their inner light color is beautiful, because each day it's different. Yeah, and each day it's different, because it's like you wake up in the morning and you know, if you're a crystal person, you notice that every day your gems change,
Yes.
you know, and it all depends. And what does that match? The emotion, the mood, the time of the day, the whatever you're going through, it reflects it.
Yeah, because you'll be drawn to one crystal one day.
Yeah.
And the next day's a different one.
Exactly. And that's
Kind
what
of like
it's supposed
one
to
day
be.
you want to wear a pink shirt, and then the next day you want
Yeah.
to wear a black shirt.
Exactly. It all depends, and it should be welcomed, you know, because it is an expression of your internal colors and your internal emotions and your internal thoughts. And sometimes it's great when we allow people to simply just put on something brighter.
Yeah.
You know, in a place like, let's say, healthcare, it's difficult for, I'm sure, a lot of those workers being in the places in the clinics there because of how bland they have to be.
Yeah.
And you know, when they do have the opportunity to have color, it changes a lot of things. It also changes their outlook on things as well, not just the people looking at them. You know, because I've been into retirement homes and I've done stuff and been able to work with beautiful people. And the compliments that I've always gotten were, wow, look at the color of your scrubs. Because I'll wear purple, I'll wear peach, I have yellow, I have blue, I have every color. And it all depends on the day to what color I'm wearing, but it also changes their day.
Yeah.
And it's a huge, yet again, a reflection.
Mhm.
So color isn't just about you. It's a reflection for yourself and for others.
Yes. I think colors are good for others.
You know, it's like a smile. It's contagious.
Unwritten languages.
Very much so. So.
What am I whispering? I don't know.
Good thing for editing.
That's why I'm like, why am I whispering?
But I mean, it's been nice, even when it comes down to like what I do with my work. And speaking of which, I'm owner operator of Spiritually in Tune, and working with a biofeedback because it works on frequencies. I mean, like we're downloading over 7,000 frequencies out of the brain per second. We're putting them into 39 categories in association to the body's organs and the stress frequencies of the body. And those stress frequencies, like when we actually go through healing the organs and stuff, like all depending on which portion of the machine you're using, it's all color association. Everything is color association, even right down to like, I mean, the simplicity of some of the readings of it is like, okay, we know that green is chronic, right? We know red is acute, you know, so like simple things like that. And then also being able to apply a frequency, a stress frequency, and have the client work through that and visualization and meditation of that color and what it brings to their body and what it does for them while they're focusing on it. And that's a huge thing right now. And I mean, it's been a huge thing for a long time, but it's becoming, I think, more open and welcome to the world, which is really beautiful, like a lot of things are. So that's big. And or when I practice my qigong and I'm teaching qigong, each organ is associated to a different color. Each organ is associated to a different element, which is associated to a different emotion, right? And through meditation, through breath work, through visualization, we can work with these colors to work on imbalances in the body. You know, we use these colors to stabilize our internal systems, because it's not just external, it's very internal, and we respond internally to an external stimuli. So it's pretty amazing. You know, or even right down to, you know, when we talk about yoga, or we talk about Reiki, or we talk about crystal work, or we talk about even hypnotherapies, or we talk about, you know, all these other different light therapies that are out, and how we know that this affects the body on so many different levels, from blue light therapy to green light therapy to red light therapy, and which area of the body is it stimulating, which areas of the body is it working on, how is it affecting us on a neural level. And that's where it starts to get phenomenal. And I mean, even our brain firing off of different colors and different signals. That's just, I mean, it's vast. It's vast, like the universe's colors. Okay, it's vast. And we know so very little, I think. And I mean, yes, we're on the brink of like amazing discoveries and amazing moments in history right now. And there's a lot of phenomenal people out there bringing this to the surface, for people to have insight and knowledge, and maybe even in-depth understanding to apply it to their own life or share it and teach it to others. It really all depends. But this stuff has been important. Reflexology is color coded. We're color coded. Everything is color coded. So we know that through our charting, and we know that the body directly responds to this. And we know that we are emotional beings, even though we don't like to acknowledge it. I do fully think that we need to stabilize our emotions and have control over them, because it is the only thing that we have control over. But I also think that we need to experience them. And in order to understand them, in order to understand anything, you have to experience it. Right. And take away this teaching of everything is freaking bad, because it's not all bad. Not all of it's death and evil. Some of it is extremely beneficial, even though it's looked at as it's dark. So people are just on the brink of understanding this, and I think this knowledge is going to spread a lot further the more open it becomes. And the more people start to actually speak about what their responses are to things. And, whether it's a biofeedback therapy, a Qigong therapy, a reflexology therapy, a Reiki therapy, a meditation therapy, a gong therapy, because even though you're listening to frequency, we're all visualizing, we all receive something the minute that gong hits.
There's a color that comes.
Yes, there is, instantly. And it's so cool too that, like, come on, we all know that when we go to sleep at night, I don't know how many people have paid attention to this, and maybe it's different for each person, but when we close our eyes to go to sleep at night, the first colors you see are like green and purple. Right? Or like after you've been out in the sunlight and you close your eyes, you see like this greenish blue light behind your eyes. So there's like this direct, and I know that I'm sure there's so much in-depth information that goes to explain that. I can only imagine. But colors everywhere. It's everywhere.
I do have one little neuro hack for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about like people are getting into this, and it's true.
Yes.
In Stanford right now, they're studying that. Andrew Huberman has been looking into it. He says he kind of goes like, there's no really rhyme or reason behind color, but yet he does with lights. He says with light and color, there's a difference. So like he says the best thing you can do for your kids is 45 minutes before they wake up, go into their room and flick on their light for 45 seconds and then shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow it activates their brain to wake up naturally. And then when they wake up, they're alert, they're responsive.
That's cool.
Or you can take that 45 minutes when you flick on the light and whisper subliminals to your children.
Well, because the subconscious mind is always listening.
So apparently blue light is good for us during the day.
Mm.
And red light is better for us in the evening. But red light keeps our body, it takes inflammation away, it takes pain away.
It works on a lot of
it
different
actually
levels.
kills disease cells.
Yep.
Green light's kind of dangerous, but it's good for when people are burnt. Regrowth of generation. So if you have a tumor, you don't want to regrow that in your body automatically. It sees green as grow.
Yeah.
But when you look at nature green, you automatically calm down. Your cortisols drop within 15 minutes. They have so much
different connections.
So we know that our bodies are responsive to things.
I mean, like
that's why when we have poison labels or signs on the street, they're yellow. You take notice.
Yeah.
Green signs are like, this is the name of the road. You're just going to notice this.
It's all
but when there's a caution, you're seeing a yellow sign, orange, something that's going to catch your attention.
Well, and that too is, people, we naturally have natural responses to all of this. That's why I think these colors have been used time and time and time and time again over history. This is not the first time this has come up. So I think that now we just have a lot more at our fingertips to spread information, and good information, supporting information to each other. And
we're in it together, man.
Each one
we're
teach
in it
one.
together. We're gonna
each one
we have
teach
to
one.
learn how to share.
That has like been my motto since the beginning, is each one teach one. Because if my hand is up and someone is helping me, I can reach my hand down and help someone else.
Yep.
You know, and that's just it. And then they can take from that knowledge or that conversation or that sharing or whatever.
And turn
What
it
they
into something
need.
even more amazing.
Yeah,
What
whatever
they
they
need,
need.
or they can even turn it into
Exactly.
something amazing.
Exactly. And then, you know, now you're taking it further in another portion of this world and creativity, because we only recycle one another.
Yes,
So why not recycle in like the best way?
exactly.
Yeah, at one point, you know, we were all a community.
Yeah.
And helping each other. That's why the saying, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah. It
Right?
really does.
And I don't think we ever stop being. I don't think we ever stop being children. And I think a lot of these disconnects and a lot of the stuff that only children color or only children this or only children, it needs to shift, right?
They've had studies since back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, to give children
Mm-hmm.
paint, markers, and
Yeah.
express their feelings. It's done in therapy. Art therapy is an amazing therapy. That's why I like the neurographic art,
Oh, man.
because you
yeah.
take the basic lines and you use your subconscious for that. But when you put in the lines to soften them, your brain starts transitioning because you're building new neural pathways with your hand, and there's this magic thing that happens between your brain and your hand, and you're naturally solving your problems.
Yeah.
And
I think that we
the
naturally
only-
know how to solve all of our problems. We just need to
and
tap
then
into
and you use
ourselves.
color,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you feel like you pick 3 to 5 colors and you just color
Wow.
whatever feels right for you.
Yeah, and I think
And
that's
then when you
awesome.
sit back and look at it, you can see some pretty damn amazing things.
Well, art, perception,
So
pictures,
then you have
words,
an
pictures,
to
words.
me, I see that as there's your accomplishment.
Yeah.
Now you know how to solve your problem.
Well, that's
Because-
your picture and word, right? And
That's the problem, the issue, and then being solved. Because the
Beautiful.
first with neurographic, it's taking it and putting the stress on the paper.
yeah. Yeah, I've
'Cause
seen a
there's
couple of
there's
different
two ways
videos
you can
and
do
stuff.
neurographic. You can do it subconsciously
Yeah.
and just you kind of let it go. But if you're like really angry and have trauma, you're not going to sit there and do a slow line.
Yeah.
So they've learned how to scribble it out, and then you go back and soften the lines. And as you said, the only rule is once you start softening those lines, you
Yeah.
can't stop.
Wow.
You can stop in your color,
But
not with drawing a new neural pathways.
and I mean, we even know that from writing when we look at people's writing. That
That's
we
why
can tell when
manifestation
somebody
works when you write.
Yeah, and we can also tell when someone's writing that if there's a lot of pressure applied to it or it's big, large letters, you know, it indicates a different emotion. All of this stuff is directly tied to it. It, you know, it's all tied to us because we are supposed to be investigating ourselves. You
But
know?
I think color is that invitation.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's why, you know, like I said in the beginning, it's a very simplistic connection that's so natural, so primarily responsive to us that why not start somewhere easy?
Yeah.
And then let's implement that. You want to be teaching more in-depth science in school? Perfect. This is a way in. You want to be teaching more emotional connection and stabilizing the mental illness? Perfect. We have a little way in. And a simple way in, and also a mindful way in to bring yourself back to ground zero where you're not constantly in fight and flight response. And it comes into a lot of different facets.
Some of the highest paid artists in the world have been using emotion and paint, literally slapping that
Yeah.
paint on the paper with their hands, with a brush, with their fist,
Yeah.
with an object. And that color represents their emotion. Why not give that ability to everyone?
Exactly. And that's, I mean, yeah, those are things.
You don't have to be a famous artist. You just need your expression.
Yeah,
your outline.
no, you don't need to be famous. You just need to have love. Yeah, I know that feeling. Actually, surprisingly not. I think it's because I drank too much coffee. Oh, I already had that coffee in it, right? But thank you so very much. Thank you for the. I should say that, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah, we'll do your thing. Good with you.
Make sure I say that.
Yeah, but you need to take. And give yourself like your website, your social media.
Thank you so much for having me tonight and sharing conversation as friends and knowledge. And I really appreciate the opportunity just to have a moment of time with you. And well, we will soon speak again.
for listening to the podcast. Maybe you want to have a special treat. I'm having a contest. It's an astrology book. And in the astrology book, you can pick who you want to, all your different astrological signs. There's a little bit about each one. And then you go on to your notes for your journaling. And there's different kinds of notes in here. In the back, I believe it's like gridded. So you can follow like moon phases or draw. And with it comes this beautiful little gem pen. And I got this because I use a gem pen. And I love this pen. I've been using it for like 3 months. And I use it every day. It hasn't ran out. And I love that it's just like little gemmy. So it adds that little special something to add a little bit of magic to your life. Little things count. So to win this, you need to comment below with a diamond emoji. And oh gosh, when will I pick the winner? I guess next Monday. And if I don't have any comments, then it'll get carried over and I'll keep adding on. And then whoever wins the big basket, we'll go from there. So I'll try to have a weekly draw every week. Be sure to check out my color healing course. Yes, I provided it for free, but there's only 100 spots available if there's 100 spots left for the next 27 days. Good luck. Thanks for joining us.
Hey Magic Makers, we want to hear your magical stories and experiences. Whether it's a spell that worked wonders, a mystical encounter, or a transformative moment on your spiritual journey, we want to share the magic with our amazing community. If you're interested in being featured on Magickally Living, or if you have a magical tale to tell, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us at rainbowwindshieling@gmail.com or rainbowmetamagic@gmail.com. We can't wait to connect with you and bring your magic to life on the airwaves. Follow us on social media as Rainbow Winds Healing for updates, sneak peeks, and a vibrant community of fellow magic enthusiasts. Together, let's create a space where the extraordinary becomes the everyday. Lots of love and magic to you all. Welcome to Rainbow Winds and Magickally Living. Are you ready to unlock the magic within and create your most enchanted life? Look no further. Our sponsors, Rainbow Winds and Magickally Living, are here to guide you on a transformative journey towards a life filled with wonder and empowerment. Unlock your potential. Personalized consultations. Discover the power of alternative healing, divination, and immersive rituals with our personalized consultations. From crystal healings to Reiki, nature forest therapy, personal tarot readings, and more, our team is here to help you tap into your inner magic. Courses, workshops, and e-courses. Learn and grow. Rainbow Winds and Magickally Living offer a range of courses and workshops designed to help you deepen your connection with nature, the cosmos, and your inner self. Now, introducing e-courses and e-books, making the magic accessible to everyone everywhere. Color therapy for vibrant living. Add a splash of color to your life. Our color therapy sessions are designed to enhance your well-being and bring balance to your energy centers. Immerse yourself in the hues that resonate with your goals and dreams. Why choose Rainbow Winds and Magickally Living? Heart-centered healing. We approach every consultation and offering with a big heart, ensuring that you feel supported and nurtured on your journey. Variety of modalities. From traditional practices to modern techniques, our team offers a diverse range of healing modalities to cater to your unique needs. Transformational ceremonies. Experience personal and transformative ceremonies tailored to your individual path and goals. Pathfinding support. Let us guide you towards your dreams and life purpose through alternative healing, divination, and immersive rituals. Ready to embrace the magic? Whether you're seeking to add more color to your life, connect with nature, or delve into the mysteries of the cosmos, Rainbow Winds and Magickally Living are your companions on this magical journey. Don't just exist. Thrive with Rainbow Winds and Magickally Living. Your magical life awaits. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell to stay enchanted. Rainbow Winds #Magickally, living #enchanted life.
time does the show start?